It's a good time to do it. What's wrong with my speaker? Super loud. I just wanted to give you guys an update and say doing all right. And we just been quarantined. I hope you guys are doing all right. The numbers are pretty crazy, right? It's been pretty crazy. Wow. Yeah. Um, so 137,000 people confirmed cases, and I think it's going to go way higher than that. And 2,414 deaths. And I just been keeping up with everything going on, as you guys should too. I hope you guys are staying informed during this whole thing. I noticed a lot of people are not informed. Thankfully, they're kind of getting the word out as far as the governments are getting the word out finally about what's really happening, taking it seriously, which is in turn inspiring other people to take it more seriously. But it just seems like there's a lot more information needs to be put out there for people to take this seriously. And I sincerely hope more people do. So this is an opportunity for us to talk frankly about it, right? And also I want to see how you guys are doing out there, seeing how people are doing. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. And I know I've been doing a lot of lives, legit lives, like we used to, but I'm gonna start getting back into it. Just been some changes. So, Mr. Mike T Man, how you doing? Black Supreme, how you doing? Everybody else who's watching, how you guys doing out there? How are you guys, like, really? How are you doing? Are you guys staying indoors? Mike, how you doing? You staying indoors, man? You quarantining, or you guys not taking it seriously? What is your state taking it serious? Ours is taking it serious. So they've just recently, a few days ago, locked everything down and put some orders, stay-at-home orders and stuff. So, like I said, more and more people are taking it serious here. I think here locally we got a few deaths for people who are more susceptible to it. But it's not all old people who are dying, by the way. But yeah, I'm really glad people are taking it more serious. Dojin Mac, how you doing? What's up? How you doing? How's everybody doing? Just kind of checking in with everyone, seeing how you guys are doing. This is the map I normally use to stay up to date, and then checking the news. All the news is completely saturated with COVID-19. So I just felt obligated to talk about it, and I'm honestly wondering how everybody's doing. Also, I wanted to cover something else. Somebody asked me and Yuri a question about if green card holders can apply for unemployment without being deemed public charge. And another question they had was, will green card holders get a part of a stimulus check from the CARE Act? Is it okay to get that? So I'm going to answer those two questions today. But also, we're going to, it's going to be an open forum. I'll ask those in a minute here. Broly Khan, how you doing? Staying safe, man. Thanks. He says stay safe. Yep, we're staying safe. We're taking care of ourselves over here, staying isolated, only going out when we really have to get groceries and stuff like that. And we've been having a lot of fun with the kids. Actually, it's an opportunity for us to play games and stuff with the kids, and they love that. I think tomorrow they're gonna start. The schools are doing like some kind of online thing, so that's what's happening with the kids. Mike T Man says he says the city of Atlanta is taking this seriously, but the state of Georgia isn't necessarily. Yeah. It's unfortunate. See, what happens is the numbers start like this. It's like do 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 do, and then it just explodes, right? And that's kind of what's happening in Colorado right now. Like, we went from hearing that there were only, I don't know, 11 cases, and that was last week. Now there's over 1,000 cases here in Colorado, and like 20 deaths or something. So yeah, I mean, and it's just because they're not testing here. They're not testing like they should. I mean, hopefully in the next week or so they'll be able to start testing. How is it like? Mike T Man talked about Atlanta and Georgia and stuff, and that's good that Atlanta's at least taking it serious. But how's your state doing, Broly Khan? How about Jay and Vina TV? How's your state taking it? How are you guys doing with this whole process? We got Jay and Vina TV says hello. Broly Khan says most new movies are going straight to internet streaming. Yeah, we just watched one the other night, as a matter of fact. That Onward movie. It's like a Disney movie. Me and the kids and everybody watched a movie straight that is on in the theater, and they put it on streaming on Amazon. So we went ahead and watched it, and it was really good. Good movie, by the way. Onward. Says, oh, Jabari, how you doing, man? How you doing? I've been wondering about you guys. Me and the wife started a YouTube channel. Congrats, keep it up. Just stay consistent and start getting viewers and stuff. I gotta subscribe to you guys. I didn't know you were doing YouTube. Alex Valdez says stay safe and mostly quarantined in a big wheeler. Man, keep those trucks rolling, man. We need that. We need those supplies, man. If the truckers stopped, we're all screwed. U.S. completely relies on truckers, man. Stuff like this really makes me realize how much we need truckers, man. How important it is logistically for all of us, you know. Seriously. Markel TV, how you doing, man? Been checking out your channel, man. You over there in Colombia, locked up and protecting yourself, I hope. Not locked up as in jail. I mean, he's staying at home and stuff. He's quarantined. Hope all is well. Man, we're doing all right. Mike T. Man says, my home state, Alabama, isn't taking it serious. They don't take it serious when those numbers start getting crazy, man. That's when they'll take it serious. Florida has a lot of cases. Broly Khan says, Florida has a lot of cases. All the restaurants are takeout only areas. That's good, man. Finally kicked the people off the beaches, I see. JN Vina TV says, Boston has some cases we've seen in the house for days. We've been in the house for days. Yeah. That's good, man. Just stay safe. You know, it's, you don't know, like the thing is, we don't know who's going to be susceptible to, who's going to get hit hard with the virus. You know what I mean? Like I got a kid here with asthma. I don't know how hard it's going to hit that person. I don't know. We may have even had it, to be honest with you. Just the other week, Yuri and the kids got really sick, you know, like really sick. Had a temperature. Yuri was sick for like over a week. My other kid was sick for like a week. Like, and then we start calling around to try to get into the hospital to get them checked, to see if we have COVID-19. And we can't. They're not just ran because they have so few supplies. You can't just walk up in the hospital and get a test, right? Of course, you're not supposed to just walk up in the hospital. You might infect everybody. You're supposed to call in, which is what we did, and say, hey, okay, I think we have it. And then they start asking you, screening you, right? And so they forward us to like this center that they have here locally. So we called the center, and the center is like, okay, let me put you on with the COVID-19 nurse or whatever it was. And then she started asking us more questions to try to screen Yuri. And we're like, hey, Yuri she's not old, but, you know, they start asking, what's your age? Okay, what kind of symptoms do you have? And stuff like that, right? And it sounds like it was checking out. So they would start asking more questions. They said, okay, like, how old are you? And that was a big question because more, you know, older folks are a little more susceptible to like having the real serious and being on a ventilator and stuff like that. And they said, you know, she's pretty young. So, but we said, hey, you know, she is in the medical industry, right? So I don't know if you knew this, but most medical people in the medical industry who are exposed more often, they make up 20% of the people who are getting infected. So I'll be keeping up on this. So I was like, nah, you know, we gotta see if you have this because we don't want it to spread to clients and stuff. So they still didn't, like, they were still like, okay, well, make an appointment for like next week at this time, and you got to go here and go there to go see if you have it, right? We're kind of rural, so that's what, they don't have like lines that you can stay in your car and go get checked out. So and it's like, it's shocking because you're thinking like, man, if a healthcare professional can't get checked out quickly, like what is happening here? This is bad. Like what scares me about it is not COVID-19 itself. Like that in and of itself is scary. But if you look at the statistics, 50% of people are asymptomatic, which is bad. That's bad. That means they don't have any symptoms, but they're spreading it all over the place, right? They don't. I'm fine. I don't have a cough. I feel great. But they have the virus, and then they transmit it to like 15 other people, right, before they even know they have it. That's horrible. But that being said, about 1% are actually having the real bad, like have to be on a ventilator and in a hospital bed and stuff like that. Only about 1%. And even less percent of them are, in that 1%, portion of them are passing away, which is really sad. But what scares me more than that is the incompetence, that we're not prepared at all. Like, we're not prepared, and we had months to prepare. And I don't understand why people aren't taking it seriously. I don't understand. Even if Colorado, all the major cities, Denver and Chicago and LA and New York City and all those places are taking it seriously, there's plenty of counties that are not taking it seriously. And so the problem with that is if only part of us are taking it seriously and the other 30, 40, 50% are not, it's just going to be a feedback loop where we're infecting the people who are infected, who are isolated, are getting reinfected with the people who don't care and going to county, driving state to state and don't care what's going on, and they're non-essential people. It's just the incompetence is terrifying. The incompetence, all the way from the federal level all the way down to the local level, is amazing. And I hope that this is a wake-up call. I hope this serves as a wake-up call, And I'm not super confident that it will, because it seems like we're not learning. So Brolycon says a trucker CDL can help you make a good living. Yeah, absolutely. Talk to HE Logistics about that, man. That man, he's doing well for himself. Hey Andy, how you doing? He says, hey Bruce, how are you? How are you, my friend? Happy to see you. Happy to see you too, man. I just want to. Are you still discussing the virus? A little bit. I really want to talk about the green card holders and if they can apply for unemployment and get that stimulus check. That's what I'm going to talk about. But I just want to check up with everybody. Dojin Max says, for everyone, elderberry is a great, strong antiviral. I've been using it for a better part of 10 years, and the U.S. doesn't talk about antivirals, but they have worked for thousands of years. And I'm not saying I'll definitely try that, and this is not saying, oh, this is gonna heal you or this is a cure or anything like that. But another good thing you can use to strengthen your immune system is zinc. That's another thing that you can check out. It's not gonna protect you magically from COVID-19. You gotta wash your hands and stuff and not touch your face when you go out and things like that. Derek F, how you doing, man? He says, I think I had it in January. Man, I think we had it too, man. I'm telling you, I think we had it in beginning of March. I think we had it. Anyway, he says, I don't know. I didn't have a normal cold, but I got over it in a week and a half. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what happened with Yuri and the kids. Like, they had something. First, they had like a cold, right? Like a normal flu cold type symptoms, right? Stay home from school, whatever, like that. And Yuri too, like, man, she was doing okay enough to like get around and stuff. Then, like, right after it was going down, like after the cold and flu symptoms start going down, like normally you have seasonal, right? Right after that, then she got hit with something like hard, we don't know what it was. So temperature shot up, in the bed, can't go to work, stuff like that kind of thing. And that's when we start calling, like trying to get screened and stuff. But it was hard to get screened. So by the time they said, okay, your appointment's next week or whatever, by the time the appointment came, she's already good. So, man, I don't know what to say. I think a lot of people have it. I think the number is way higher than what you're seeing over here. Like, it's way higher than 100. And hold on, let me show you the whole number here. because I don't think it's like showing all of it. Let's look at this whole number. How do I do this again? Here we go. I want you guys to see this. I want you to see this. You probably already seen this. This is a good site right here. Coronavirus. I think this is Johns Hopkins right here. There it is right there. Let me see if I can get the whole thing on there. Let's just do that. There we go. So that's the whole number right there. 137,000 and counting. Infected, 2,414 deaths so far at the time of this recording. Jay and Cookie says, what's good? Doing all right, man. Doing all right, considering the circumstances. J and V says, being so close to New York, people are traveling from Boston to New York on a daily basis, and it's scary. I work in the medical field, so I see firsthand what's going on. Yeah, man, it's brutal. It's freaking brutal. Derek F says they had some idiots doing a corona challenge licking toilet bowls. You see that? Wow. You know, a couple of those people got coronavirus, by the way. And then a few of those people who were on the beaches a few weeks ago, they got coronavirus. And I think that why the numbers are so big is because people just are not taking it serious. They're not taking it serious. I don't know what to say, man. The higher that number goes, the more susceptible people it's going to reach. That's just facts. Jay and Cookie says, yeah, people are not taking serious because they think this is some elementary, some kind of conspiracy. Yeah, that's scary, man. It's scary how uninformed people are. You know, it frustrates me. It makes me angry that people are so uninformed. They won't take the time out of their life to figure out something that is literally life and death for some people. You know, not for everyone, but yeah, and you know, we're looking at like 1% to 6% people getting infected or whatnot, but or who's gonna pass, who could pass away, but it's a community thing. Like if we don't all as a community come together and take action, then those people are gonna pass away. You know, it's shocking, man. It's shocking how apathetic human beings are. It's shocking. J and V says, just working in the research industry, I've worked with some Ebola, Congo flu, but this is something that we call a ghost killer because you really don't know who has it, and it's very hard to detect, right? And so another thing that I've been seeing, like when I'm just researching and watching the news and keeping up on it, is that something like 50% of the people who have it are asymptomatic. That, you know, that's the number they're throwing around. 50%, could be more, could be less, I don't know. But they're saying that a lot of people are asymptomatic, means they don't have symptoms. They have it, they have the virus, but there's no symptoms. They're walking around and infecting people. And so a certain percentage of those people that are infected are going to have symptoms and or be hospitalized. And they say it may, and there's not enough data to support this yet, but one of the things that scientists are saying is it could have something to do with people's blood type, not only whether or not they have pre-existing respiratory issues, but blood type could be, like they're saying that, I think some scientists in China, so take that with a grain of salt, we're saying that possibly people with type O, and look this up, please do your own research, but people with type O blood type tend to have less symptoms than people with the type A. So, and I don't know how much of that's true, but that's what some of the studies that are coming out would suggest that. And yeah, double check those facts or that information. I don't know if that's true or not. Jay and Cookie says in Africa, Angola, they had 5 people infected, and bro, they locked it down right away. Smart move. Another thing that I saw from the Dr. Fauci dude, he mentioned that was a little bit could be some good news is that he's saying that it could be it could be seasonal, right? Not to say that it's gonna go away miraculously in April or whatever, like somebody in our government said. But it could be seasonal where as soon as it starts getting hot, it should start to drop. The numbers should drop down. And if you think about it, China's summer just started and their numbers are supposedly flattened. Now that's if you believe the numbers that are coming out of China. And then if you look at our summers are actually starting to come, and then it should start getting warmer. But I don't know how much of that's true. I hope that's true. And then Africa, I think, is starting their winter, so their numbers should pick up. So take that for what it's worth. Just me doing research and just randomly. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about a question that I got. Somebody asked us. Let me show you a page here. The question was, can green card holders apply for unemployment without being deemed as a public charge? And the reason why they're concerned about this is that the current administration has been really cracking down on people deemed as public charges. And they're thinking to themselves, oh man, can I apply for unemployment? Because, the unemployment situation is out of control right now. It's out of control. So yeah, they have a reason to be concerned because there's certain, the Trump administration has started denying green card holders for immigrants who use or might use a welfare program, because that means that they are public charge of the state, meaning they don't make enough money, so the government has to take care of them. Unemployment doesn't fall under this. Okay, so that's not, you don't have, if you happen to have your wife or your spouse or you yourself are wanting to apply for unemployment, that's not considered a public charge thing. And let me just give you some facts here. Don't take it from me. Take it directly from USCIS.gov. So public charge, let's just define what they mean. They're very specific about what is not admissible, what is admissible and what is not admissible for a public charge type money that you're taking. Unemployment doesn't fall under that. And let me just show you what I mean by that. So if you look here, first of all, I was saying, here's who it applies to, right? Refugees, asylees, certain people that this is targeting, or it is not targeting. So this right here, and I will give you the link to this. It's USCIS.gov, okay? USCIS.gov, and then you can search for public charge, and you can find this public charge fact sheet. But let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. And it talks about some of the factors that they're going to start looking at as far as good applicants, and some of this is controversial, like education and skills. Like, really, you're going to look at that as a factor? Yeah, it turns out, it's right here. It's right here. So I wouldn't have believed it if somebody had just told me. I checked it out for myself. But anyway, let's get to the actual public charge benefits that they are looking at here. They're very specific. So let me just make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. This list does not include unemployment. So you're good with unemployment if you happen to need to get that. Supplemental security income, all right? SSI is what that's called. That's not unemployment. TAMF, or temporary assistance for needy families. So, and a lot of these, these are legitimate, I think, in my personal opinion. They're legit because you, even to apply for these and get them and be approved, you have to be making like well below the poverty line, with the number of people in your household is a factor. So even to get these, you have to be making well over the poverty, under the poverty line to get them. So any kind of state, local, or tribal cash benefits, this is like a local welfare type program, that's not unemployment. All right. So you got anybody who has a question about this or has a disagreement, please feel free to speak up. But it's telling us here what kinds of issues. The SNAP, this is food stamps. or supplemental nourishment assistant programs. That one could be considered a public charge type thing. And so the reason why people are concerned is because if you apply for one of these things, the government, if you're trying to become a U.S. citizen, they could use that against you during your interview. So that's why a lot of green card holders are like, damn, I don't know if I should take unemployment because that could be considered no. So there's being very specific on what is included in these things. And if you have any questions about it, or if you're not sure, you should definitely contact your state to see if this is, if what I'm saying is valid, or do some of your own research. Go ahead and go to USCIS.gov and check it out for yourself. But Section 8 is another one. Public housing assistance is another one. Federally funded Medicaid is another one. Things that are not considered benefits, and they kind of that are not considered. So emergency medical assistance, that's one thing that you could get. They're saying explicitly you can get this, and they're not going to count that against you if you wanted to become a U.S. citizen. Another one's disaster relief, national school lunch program, special supplemental nutrition programs for women and infants. That's like WIC. WIC, I think, is one of the programs that I've heard of. CHIP, that's the Children's Health Insurance Program. That's not going to be counted against you. Subsidies for foster care, not adoption. Government subsidized student loan mortgages, energy assistance, food pantries for homeless shelters, Head Start. None of those things count against you. So, and just to double check, and then if you're in the armed services, you have a different, you're under a whole different thing. So I think that if you're actually in the serving in the military, then this stuff doesn't apply to you. It has a different application. Let's just put in unemployment. Now, see, there's nothing in here about unemployment. So there you go. I hope that answers your question, and definitely do your own research. Do not ever take my word for it. I'm just some random dude on the internet. Do your own research, but I just gave you some things that you can use, some kind of resources you can use to research it yourself. Another thing that comes to mind, another question that begs to be answered is, if you're a green card holder, can you get the stimulus check from the CARE Act? That's the stimulus bill that's going to be covering the COVID-19 situation. Are you eligible for that? And does that count against you? So, and my answer, short answer of that is yes, you will get it. If you're a tax-paying green card holder, legal resident, yes. And does that count against you? No, it doesn't. It doesn't count against you. Like anything that is not your fault. Like, so unemployment, same thing. Unemployment is not your fault. Like, the only way you can get unemployment is if you were laid off, furloughed, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. If you were let go, like it wasn't your fault that you got let go, right? They laid you off or whatever. That doesn't count against you. And unemployment is supposed to kind of get you to the next job. That's what it's for. But here's some other information that I brought up that I did some research on. Are you eligible as an immigrant? And I'll show you where I got this from, but I just want to kind of sum it up. In addition to taxpayers, the CARES Act, that's what it's called. CARES Act will also apply to all resident aliens. I got this from a lawyer site, immigrant lawyer site. You are a resident alien of the United States for tax purposes if you meet either the green card test or the substantial presence test. So green card tests, are you a resident? If you take the green card test, you are a resident alien if you have U.S. permanent conditional residence. That's a green card. If you have a green card, then this applies for you. You pay taxes. That's how they're gonna know how much you're gonna get and things like that. And so yes, most of the people who I've contacted and talked to, these guys are green card holders. Now, if you're not a green card holder and you're in the country from illegally or whatever, then no, this doesn't apply to you. But are you eligible? The answer is yes. So specifically states in the CARE Act that any non-resident alien individual, let me see, eligible individuals. The term eligible individual means any individual other than a non-resident individual, meaning an illegal immigrant. Non-resident, not only illegal immigrants, but immigrants who are non-resident aliens. They're not going to get the money, obviously. Any individual with respect to whom a deduction is under Section 1. I don't know what the hell that means. So, and I guess estate trusts aren't getting it either. Okay. But let me see if there's any other information. I believe I had some other stuff that I found in here. Okay, here's another thing. Will I be considered a public charge if I receive the rebate? The answer is no. And I'm getting this also from the lawyer, from this lawyer site. If you're interested, here it is right here. Is visalawyer.blog.com. Pretty good information here. So if you're a public charge, will it be considered a public charge if you receive this money? The answer is no. Unemployment payments, and then he goes into some of the stuff I just said about unemployment. Like I said, yep, and see, he also says here's what is considered public charge, and none of that stuff is unemployment. Receipt of lawfully obtained unemployment benefits does not violate the public charge rule. There you go. And that's at visalawyer.blog.com. Check that one out. And then the other information I got is USCIS. So that's it. That's all. It's really what I wanted to cover. Another thing is how, if you wanted to know how much you're going to get, you could just go to this site here. This is Forbes. Go to Forbes.com, and they have like a calculator of how you can break down how much you're actually going to get. And it depends on whether you're married, single, if you, how much you're going to get depends on those things. How many kids? Because kids, I think $500 per kid. So, what do you guys think about this stimulus package? You guys think it's going to help at all? You think it's a good idea? I'm curious to see what you guys think about it. Is USCIS closed because they were supposed to be setting up interviews for green cards, and no answer? We got a notice. So the best way to figure that out, here, let me show you what I would do to figure that out. I go to uscis.gov. Watch this. uscis.gov. What we're trying to figure out is the USCIS closed? Are they stopping with the interviews and things like that, or is it business as usual? Or are they changing how they're doing interviews? That's what we're trying to figure out. So I would go to uscis.gov/news, and any information that they have will let you know. Like, look at this in big bold letters: USCIS is temporarily closed to the public. USCIS response to the coronavirus. Okay, let's just go ahead and click that. I'm just looking at it the whole time, and it's like right there in front of my face. USCIS response to coronavirus. As of March 18th, USCIS temporarily suspended in-person services at its field offices, asylum offices, application support centers to help slow the spread of coronavirus 19, COVID-19. USCIS offices will reopen April 7th unless public closures are extended further, which I believe they are. I was just watching the Trump administration do another thing. They said that they've been doing these daily briefings. They're super hard to watch, but they give a lot of information that's critical to what's going to happen next throughout the country. And one of the things they said was they're talking about extending the closures all the way to the end of April. So I think that this number here, this date here, April 7th, is going to change. So let's keep reading here. However, USCIS will provide emergency services for limited situations. So there you go. I hope that answers your question. They're talking about rescheduling and asylum appointments and all that kind of stuff. But all the information is right here on USCIS.gov. I hope this answers your question, Derek. Frank Joe Caldwell says, "Hi Bruce, how are the conditions in Cebu's Philippines?" They're starting to lock things down, from what I've heard from Yuri's sister. Whenever they talk, I always ask, how's it going over there? I have not been checking out the news or anything like that, but I think that they're starting to take it seriously. It's gonna get really bad in developing countries. I think, like India and Philippines. If it gets out of control there, it's going to be really, really bad. They don't have the kind of resources or money they can throw at the problem like we do, So it could get really, really bad numbers there. And I hope not. But right now they're talking about they're already quarantining. People are starting to panic buy. Like this thing has a pattern. As soon as people start to have a glimpse of, oh, this is serious, some of the people go out there and start panic buying. That's what's happening in the Philippines right now, according to Yuri's sister, Purple Shadow. They're going out panic buying a whole bunch of toilet paper, right? It's like the canary in the coal mine. Like something bad is about to happen, so people go out and panic buy a bunch of stuff and put it in their house or whatever. So sanitation stuff, toilet paper, anything like that, masks, people are panic buying. All this stuff happened. I don't know if you remember, but I posted something on here about trying to help out people in Hong Kong, and it was hitting them really hard. And the first thing that happened was people start panic buying. They start going out to buying all the masks up, buying them and then trying to resell them, right? Some people are like reselling them for a high price, buying all the toilet paper, and the shelves are empty. So somebody I was talking to on Facebook, she was telling us me and Yuri, all about it. Like, oh my God, this is really bad. So we actually sent them like all the masks that we could find, like a few, not all the masks. I can only find like 5 or something like that, because they were already gone, diminished here locally, because people are already starting to panic buy in Colorado like last month. So I sent what I could over there, and she is saying like, yeah, that's the first thing that happens. People start panic buying. Then the next step is the local government starts to take it a little bit more serious, and then they start locking certain things down, start restricting movement, suggesting minimizing movement. That's kind of what's happening now. They're in that next phase of like the government stepping in and saying, okay, we're going to restrict movement here. There's a curfew is extended here and here. That's kind of what's happening in Cebu right now, as far as I know. Let's see. What's the other thing? Jay and Vina TV says, my pharmaceutical company will be getting a strain of coronavirus to conduct some testing. Awesome. Can't say the name of the company, but we will be conducting tests in a few days. That's incredible, man. Well, thank you for your hard work, man. All you medical professionals out there and all you truckers, man. You guys are keeping us afloat, man. This right here has been an eye-opener for me as far as like who's really, really important in this whole thing. Because I just realized, man, without the truckers actually sending the gas. Think about it. Truckers are responsible for sending gas throughout the country. Like if there's no gas in the U.S., we are absolutely screwed. If there's no gas, if there's no way to get around, we are absolutely screwed. Not only that, but food, restocking the shelves. That's the truckers, man. If without them, like we are absolutely screwed. It's like the lifeblood of the U.S., the truckers, the shipping industry, transportation industry, super duper important. The trucking industry, logistics, stuff like that. Let me see. Derek F says, what if you are processing for an AOS but filed taxes? What if you are processing for AOS? Which AOS are you? I'm assuming you're talking about. Is that the evidence of support? You're talking about the evidence of support or adjustment of status. You're talking about the adjustment of status, but file for taxes. Excuse me. I file for taxes, so would she get a check too, even though she didn't have a income? So it depends on Derek. First off, I'm not a financial professional. I'm not a tax filer. I don't know anything about money. Okay, but I can just tell you what Yuri and I had did when she first got here. Adjustment of status. Okay, yeah. So I can just tell you, Derek F. And your question is, if you're processing the adjustment of status and then you file taxes and she's on your taxes, I'm assuming, and what does it look like when you get money back? Or is she going to get money back, and are you going to get money back? I'm assuming that's your question. And I can only tell you, as I'm not a financial advisor. I can only tell you from my personal experience what Yuri and I did. So Yuri came here from Cebu. We had a K-1 visa, blah blah blah, and then we got married. And then she was on the first taxes she was on was like 2014 or whatever year it was. I don't remember. So she was on my taxes. So basically, what happens is, if I remember right, I was then filing, instead of filing single, and I could have the choice as a married couple of filing as a head of household or jointly. So what I did was we filed jointly, and then we got. Oh, so you said for the stimulus check. I don't know. So okay, so your question is, she's on your taxes recently. Oh, okay. I think I know what you're saying. You're saying how much will you get? So I think you can figure this one out, Derek F. So what you'll do is, there's a site here on Forbes.com. Go to Forbes.com. I don't know if you can see the link there. Let me see if I can show you the link. Hey, Philippines Paradise Chronicles. How you guys doing? We're doing all right, man. And I think he just answered your question. If you file joint and she has a SSN, you'll get the standard deduction. But I think Philippines Paradise, his question is, how much does he get for the stimulus if they're filing jointly? I think they're going to treat it as you guys as a couple. I just wanted to show you this real quick. So if you go here to this is the site right here. And now listen, like I said, I don't know for sure. I'm just kind of using deductive reasoning here. And I could be totally wrong. Stimulus check calculator. So that's where I'm at right here. It's Forbes.com/advisor/personal finances/stimulus check calculator. All right. So if you go here, and here's where it would make a difference for you if you're putting married, because there's a difference between single and married. And they're looking at your taxes filed in 2019, right? So if you file taxes in 2019, that's what they're going to go by. And they're going to see that you filed married or single. I think that if you had filed single in 2019, then they're going to go by you being single. So I think that it's going to be based off of this instead of this. I think. I'm just speculating here. But here's another thing to consider is if she is not a green card holder yet, and you're in the middle of the process, then I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think in that case she wouldn't get the stimulus check because she doesn't have a green card yet. But I'm not totally sure about that. That's a great question, actually. Mike T. Man says, does she have a green card? See, Mike T. Man's on the right. He's like thinking like I'm thinking. Does she have a green card? That is the question. Because I think what we read before, if you caught the early part of this, I was talking about green card holders are eligible for the stimulus check, right? If they were tax-paying citizens in that year in 2019, they have the Social Security number that's filed with the IRS. They should receive the $1,200 or whatever, depends on how much money you made in 2019. They should see it. But if she doesn't have a green card yet and she's going through that process, then I'm not sure. I would have to say no, but I'm not totally sure about that. Wouldn't get anything without a green card. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. That's what I'm assuming too, Philippines Paradise. But if she, let's just say for the sake of reasoning that, for the sake of getting an answer here, that Derek F. And his wife, she had a green card, right, in last year, and they're married, and so has a green card, has a social security number, filed jointly. So you would go here to this calculator. You would say, have you filed in 2019? Answer is yes. What was your filing status? You were married. Then you say, okay, I made 75. How many kids do you have? Let's say we had one kid. You would hit calculate here. Let's see what you're going to get. That's how much you would get. But let's say if you filed last year and it was single and you made 75 and you guys have no kids, recalculate 1,000 because it's only for one person, right? One person, no kid. If you had a kid, there should be an extra $500, so $1,700. I don't know if you can see that number, but I hope this is helping you to like calculate, the range of what you could get. But I think without a green card, it's different because I don't know that each person would get. I think your situation would be, but it could be you filed married, and if they're going by not individuals but whether or not you're married, and it could be an issue with this code, with the algorithm of this little app they have here, because this is assuming that both people are U.S. citizens and or green card holders. So this could be wrong. This calculator could be wrong. Okay, I'm glad that's helping. He says, Derek F says, yeah, it's helping. Okay, good. Oh, that's great. Hopefully you get, hopefully they're going by this algorithm that they have, whatever they have here, and you get about 2,900. So that's great. Depends on how much you're making. But if you're making, let's see, if you're making this much, 1, 2, 3, you should get nothing. Oh, okay, one kid, so you got $450. But if you had no kids, let's see what this looks like. Nothing. You made too much money. Okay, let's see. Philippines Paradise Chronicle says 2,900 for married with one kid. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. That's what the data says. And then Philippines Chronicle says if she's worked and has an SSN, she should be eligible. Possible, yeah, that's possible, because if you file with the IRS, they're gonna go by your social security number. And you're under, if she's under Derek's as married, then it may actually still, you should be able to get the $1,200. So yeah, it's going straight to the house fund. I hear you, man. Philippines Chronicle says we will all need this with today's news that the president ordered now extended to April 30th. Yeah. Yeah. This is gonna be rough. This is gonna be a rough 30 days. Rough. Especially for some people, man. And I really feel for a lot of folks out there, man. I don't know what to say, man. This is gonna be hard, man. I honestly believe this is gonna be hard in 2008. It's gonna be like an extended. This might even be like on our way to a Great Depression. I don't know. This is gonna be hard. Does she have ROC? What's ROC? Philippines Paradise Chronicle says, does she have ROC? I don't know what that means. Report of, not sure what that one means. Mike T Man says, I'm just counting money I wasn't expecting, and I'm just counting it as money I wasn't expecting and going directly into savings. Smart move. Derek S says, yeah, my house my hours increased at work. I do deliveries. Okay. Well, thank God for people like you, man, still doing those deliveries, because I know a lot of us are relying on that. That's like lifeblood for us right now, man. So that, and the truckers, and of course the healthcare professionals, man. Thank all you guys. I know a lot of you guys watching. You guys don't get the props that you deserve, man. But times like this, man, is eye opener. How much we need you guys. Philippines Paradise says, let's all pray. JNV TV says, how are things in Colorado, in your area? It's we've got some pretty good leadership here in Colorado. Governor Paulus has been really good about giving information out there. He shut down as soon as, I want to say 3 days ago, he put a lockdown on stay-at-home orders. But before that, they were suggesting, they were kind of just, hey guys, here's what's going on. Like maybe a week before, they were like, here's what's going on. We're suggesting that you guys stay at home. We're suggesting they start closing the restaurants down and making sure only non-essential people were staying at home and only essential people were out. Your fire department, your people who have to be out were out. And then forcing deliveries. They were doing this like maybe 2 weeks ago. And then recently they did a stay-at-home order. So I think that was a smart move because, man, if we don't take this seriously, man, a lot more people are going to get infected, and a lot of people are going to die. And that's a sad thing to say, and I don't say that with any kind of joy or any kind of told you so or anything like that, man. This is something none of us saw coming. So not anybody's, I believe that our government could have responded faster. I do believe that. But that being said, we're all doing the best we can. Philippines Chronicle says, Lord, help us all overcome this crisis and make us all stronger. Amen. Yeah, so in Colorado, another thing they're doing is they've closed the schools down, and they're doing schools online. Like all the school districts are trying to do it all online where they can. Obviously, if you are in elementary school, that's a lot harder. But my kids are in junior high school and high school respectively, and they're doing mostly online stuff right now. And then had the stay-at-home order like a few days ago, so we're doing okay here. And then the thing is, like Colorado we're lucky in that we have a lot of land area, right? Our land area is like almost comparable to like the entire Philippines archipelago, right? It's like 200,000 square feet or whatever it is. I don't know, 200,000 square miles or whatever it is, right? So there's a lot of mileage. It's almost comparable to the Philippines entire archipelago, right? Look it up. Check my numbers. But the amount of people here is only about 5 million. So we actually have a lot of space between us. It's not like super tight like places like LA or New York or something like that. Unless you're like even in Denver, it's not even close to like in LA. It's not even close. So that does make a difference because we're not as you can get by without like. It's easier to do things like the distancing rule and stuff like that. So I don't imagine in places like this is going to be as bad, but then it depends on how much people take it seriously, because you do have tight spaces like Walmart and stuff. And we were just there today, and it was. Sometimes I'm thinking to myself, our people are not taking this seriously, But never in my life did I think that people, I would see. I never thought I would see Americans wearing masks, and they are. It's crazy to see that here in the U.S. Let me see. Philippines Chronicle says, Derek, I don't know. I hope you can get it. Oh, okay. He's referring to. He says. Philippines Chronicle says, Work permit, not a removal of conditions. And then Derek replied with Chronicles, no permit yet, but it was filed in January, but nothing in the mail. We already did the fingerprints, the biometrics and stuff. So yeah, that's a tough one, Derek. You gotta let us know what happens, because I'm very curious to see if you guys get it, man. It's none of my business. I'm personally curious about it. So if you would let them, because that would allow us to, if anybody asks us questions, which they often do, we can pass that information along. Mike T. Man says, if someone needs masks, you can always find them at fastvirusprotect. In my Shopify. I'm gonna take a look at that. Go to site. This better not be a virus, Mike T. Man. Nah, I trust you, man. Viral Protection Labs. Is this where you got some masks from yourself? Let's see how much these things cost. Freedom face masks. 50 masks for $39 in stock. Is that good? 3-layer surgical masks that loop over the ear. Are these reusable? I don't know if that's a good price. Need a wholesale price. $39 for 50 masks. If these are anything like the ones that I had, if these are, I don't know if that's a good price, to be honest with you. Because I got them locally. Well, when you can find them, I got them locally for like $10 for about 10. $10 for 10. So I guess that's about right. Because $10 for 10 to get 50 of them, I'm spending 10, 20, $50 or whatever. So yeah, guess that's an okay price. Philippines Chronicle says, well, we all need a kick at this time, and hopefully they are working on the next kick now. I mean, they're going to have to. Man, can you imagine what the national debt is going to look like? It's going to be super effing high. Man, I don't know if we're going to get out of this one, man. Financially, I don't know if America's going to get out of this one, man. This is brutal, but wow, what a wake-up call. What a wake-up call, man. Wow. What a jolt to the system. I don't know what's going to happen. Philippines Paradise Chronicle says USCIS is empty till April 7th. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, and actually it's going to probably be extended all the way to the 30th if it's anything. If this April 7th number was based on the last time the president spoke about how long we're going to stay closed, this might go to the 30th, because recently today, as of today, he announced that we're going all the way to April 30th. And of course, he is in charge. The executive branch is completely in charge. This whole branch is under the executive branch. So yeah, that's probably going to stay closed longer if I had to guess. Jay and Cookie says, bro, this guy's going to be rich when all this is done. I don't know. I don't know if he's making a profit off of that, because those are the very expensive masks for $50. Yeah, I don't know if he's making a profit off of that, to be honest with you, because I'm thinking about the ones I purchased at Walgreens were like it was like $10 for a pack of 10. So if these are the good ones, then they could be just making out. Like they could just be just making enough to cover the cost of the next shipment they have to buy. I don't know if this is a profit or not. So, but I mean, you should see on Amazon, man. On Amazon, if it hasn't changed at all, Amazon was selling them for like $100. What they would do is they say, oh, the mask is $40 for 20, but the shipping cost is $100. That's what they were doing on Amazon. Crazy exploitation. Philippines Chronicle says masks don't protect you from the virus. They only protect others from you getting the virus, this man is informed. If the person who's wearing the mask has the virus, yeah, that's what Dr. Fauci is and others are saying, is that the mask is not like, so the way that it's transmitted is you touch things and then you touch your face, and it gets into your mucous membranes. Like if you touch your eye, you touch your nose, you touch your mouth. So you touch things, right? Think about how many times a day you touch doorknobs, push, looking at objects. You touch everything, right? You're touching things, touch. And then you scratch your face, and that's how you're getting it, right? And also if somebody coughs and it goes in one of your mucous membranes, because it doesn't have to go in your mouth. It can go in your nose, your eyes, or whatever. And so that's how the virus is getting spread. The mask is best used for if you have a cough or you're infected and you're spreading it to others. So take that for what it's worth. Mr. Mike T. Man says, people really maxing out their credit cards. Yeah, people are freaking out, man. Freaking out. But the best thing to do is just be informed, and that's why I'm constantly reading, constantly listening to news, to get facts, to get my facts good, to get my facts straight, and so I'm not doing something stupid, and I can continue to protect my family. Jay and Vina TV says, yeah, even at my job working in the lab, prices have went up. Price gouging is very serious. It's very serious right now. They should really nationalize it and be like, they should just enforce it. They should just, the president or whoever should be like, listen, all masks in the U.S. are going to be X amount of price. And if you're hoarding stuff, I think that they tried to do something like this, where that time one of the newscasters I saw in one of the briefings that they did, they had what's that guy's name? AG Barr, Attorney General Barr, came out and said, look, if you're hoarding essential stuff, then we're gonna you can be prosecuted. But that's like if you're hoarding like a whole warehouse full of stuff, you can be prosecuted. And here they started doing, which is great, and it actually has worked, is that they limit everyone to buying only what they need. Like they'll say, if it's toilet paper, you can only buy 3 giant rolls, or giant packs. Or if it's hand sanitizer, you can only buy 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever. So that's good. The masks, same thing. They did that a month ago because people were doing the same thing with those. Everyone, Mike T. Man says everybody needs to do their part. If everybody there's wears their mask, well, you don't have to worry about where you're saying if everybody does their part and wears their mask, you don't have to worry about whether they have it or not, or whether they're carriers or not. True. J and V says N95 should be the only mask you should be wearing. Very true. I've been hearing about those, but if we, where are we going to get an N95 mask? Be nice to have. But those are in short supply, and really just medical professionals should be, because since there's so few and people are price gouging them, really we should be hoarding them and giving them to the hospitals and the healthcare providers. Philippine Paradise Chronicle says, Derek, the good thing is that you already did the in-person requirements, and maybe it's gonna be in the mail soon. Seems like it only took a few days to get it. And are you getting online case updates? Yeah, and just so you know, Derek, you can log on to the USCIS site and see what your status is. What is your status? Does it still say processing? Jay and Cookie says, in this day and age, no one reads anymore. That is so true. People do not read. People don't read and they don't pay attention to news. Crazy how uninformed. It's shocking and scary how uninformed people are about things that are very important. Very scary. Leads to bad things. Philippines Paradise Chronicles says, and misinformed too. Like sometimes I'll read things on Facebook, but they're very misinformed. They don't have all the facts, right? Because all facts don't line up with your narrative. All facts aren't going to make you feel warm and fuzzy. All facts aren't going to line up with your opinion about life. You got to look at both sides all the time. And unfortunately, the media is really doing a great job of promoting certain narratives that they're promoting. And some people only watch one aspect of it, and they're inundated with one side, and it's just sad, man. It's just sad what's happened. Philippines Paradise Chronicle says they will never be able to enforce price gouging in a free economy. I'm just saying they should. I'm just saying that they should. Kind of like World War II, where they said, okay, GM, you're going to make X amount of bullets, period. And you're going to give those bullets to the Army and the Navy, right? So you can control it in some respects, not in every respect, because like you said, it's a free economy. So you can have people trading, charging whatever they want for bullets or guns or whatever you're going to buy from person to person or from shop to shop or to one pawn shop to another or whatever, right? You can't control that, obviously. But what the government can do is come in and just say, we need 30,000 ventilators for the state of New York right now, and GM, you're going to make them. Wartime scenario, we have lives to save. You're going to do it right now. Right? They could do that. Government could do that. Federal government. And they have, they can do that. So, Philippines Paradise Chronicle says it's valid point, Mike. Let me see. We need some BS filters on media releases. We really do. Like, I really wish that they would just have fact checkers. Like, I wish that more responsible organizations would have like a fact checking. Like, I'm okay with opinion pieces. Like if Hannity or whatever has his, there's nothing wrong with having an opinion, but we shouldn't pretend that that's the real news, right? That's not okay. Like, we should fact check what these people are saying. So, and the same thing goes for if Don Lemon goes on there and he's saying things that aren't factual, right? You should have, like, I wish there were organizations would take accountability for themselves and say, listen, as they're speaking, the actual facts, their objective facts are there on the screen or something like that. That would be cool, but they don't do that. And then there's this narrative that goes like really far left or really far right. And it's like, okay, can we separate opinions? Like, you have your opinions here and you have your opinions here, but where are the objective facts? What actually was said without emotions? Like, here's what was said. And I take it upon myself to research everything people are saying. Like, especially if they say something outlandish, I'm like, nah, that doesn't sound right. I'll research it and see what is really happening. So, and what I found is that there's a lot of liars, and not sometimes they're not blatantly lying. Sometimes they misconstrue the facts, or they're not. They're disingenuous, right? They mislead people by saying things that will trigger them, and then get an emotional response to get a vote or whatever. That happens a lot with politics. Philippines Paradise Chronicle says, "Yeah, where's the lady of the White House? Yeah, where is she? Oh, I'm sorry, Yuri. Yuri, sorry, where's Yuri? Is she okay? Yuri is doing great. Yuri is right now, I think she's doing some work for her job right now. So she's been doing a lot of work. As you know, she's in the healthcare industry, so she's doing a lot of work. She's doing great. Like I said, if you missed the first part of this, we might have already gotten the coronavirus. We got some kind of weird sickness like a few weeks ago. And it's strange. Like we never were able to get the test going. By the time we got an appointment, Yuri was feeling fine. So, but yeah, she's doing great right now. Probably TikTok somewhere. Nah, she's not really into online stuff, to be honest with you. She's more like an older generation. She's not really into this kind of stuff. Surprising, right? My kids love TikTok and all this kind of stuff. Philippines Paradise says about the mask. Philippine, let me see. I'm just reading comments here, guys. Philippines Paradise Chronicle says some people who have the virus have no symptoms, asymptomatic, exactly, and can't get tested. That's what's happening. So that's what happened to us. We thought maybe my kids and Yuri had it, actually, because we had some kind of weak cold, like a seasonal cold or flu or something like that. It just didn't feel good. And it started to kind of peter out and go away. But as soon as it started to go away, boom, we have something else, right? Something that was serious where the kids had to stay home from school. Yuri couldn't go to work, was bedridden for like a day, had a high fever for like, I don't know if she had it. Like there's no test for us, but I think she did. So, and that went on for like, and if they had it, I'm sure I had it. I must have been completely asymptomatic. But yeah, I think we might have had it. To be honest with you, to be perfectly honest, like it might have happened. But we couldn't get tested, so unfortunately. And by the time we could, Yuri and the kids are fine. Like it just passed whatever it was. I think that the numbers are way higher. Like these numbers, these John Hopkins numbers here, this 137,000 and this death toll of 2,414. I think these numbers are way, way higher because we're not really testing, unfortunately. Yeah, Dr. Fauci is the only source on the virus I consider real. Yeah, Dr. Fauci, there's a couple of really good, very honest, very smart people, and Dr. Fauci has been one of those people. Dr. Fauci, I really like how some of the governors are handling it. Very professional, very, wow, this number just went up. 142,000. Wow. That's horrible, man. More deaths, too. About 30 more deaths. Unbelievable. Wow. Deaths in, let me see. Deaths in New York are up to 678. Washington is up to 141. We won't ever hear the real numbers till everyone is tested, and that won't happen. Yeah, I think that when it's all said and done, the numbers are going to be way higher. I think, and honestly, I think that China's numbers are way higher. I honestly believe China's numbers are super duper high, and they're just not releasing. Like in China, they're saying that this is their number, 82,000. I think it's way higher than that. The biggest liars of them all, as far as governments go, is Russia. So this is much higher than it was before. Look at that number. Are they finally reporting numbers, I wonder? Look at that. 8 deaths. So Russia, the reason why I think that these numbers are way higher is because Russia has a border with China and Europe. So this number should be off the charts. And they have a population of 125 million or whatever, right? It's like a quarter of the U.S. So it should be way higher than this. They have a border with Europe. They share a border with China. I'm sure they have tons of business going in and out of both those locations. It's got to be higher than 1,500. I mean, this right here is lower than the state of New York. If I'm not mistaken, that's much lower than the state of New York. So, yeah, that's not right. That's not right. And I think China's also lying. They're not reporting full numbers because they want their economy to do better. And I'm not to say that our government is great about this stuff, but I think that the numbers here are real. I think that they're doing the best they can with the numbers they have, with the information they have, because it's much harder to lie when you have 50 states reporting numbers, right? 50 individual states reporting numbers to one place. So whereas in China, they control the numbers. They control what information is going out. And then Iran tried to hide it. That didn't go well. That didn't go well. Interesting. Anyone watch Trevor on the Daily Show? No, I didn't see that one. Is this the one where he did with Dr. Fauci? Dr. Fauci's been making his rounds on the internet, on YouTube, YouTube personalities. I've noticed, which is a good idea to educate young people who don't really watch cable news. All the densely populated areas have high numbers. Yeah, like I think Philippines is going to get it bad. Philippines is going to get smashed. India is going to get annihilated with this. I mean, God forbid, I hope I'm wrong, but places that are densely packed, that have that they don't have the infrastructure that we are lucky enough to have. As bad as our numbers are, we have an infrastructure that is going to be able to save a lot of people. But India and Philippines, it could get really bad there. And I mean, I hope it doesn't. I hope I'm wrong, but just looking at how this is going, hopefully it's like Dr. Fauci said, and this is like a seasonal thing. Like it's going to hit us hard during the winter months, and it's going to go down once the summer hits. That would be great if that's true, but I don't know, man. This is looking bad. Everyone in China were forced to wear masks. I didn't know that. JNV TV says we perjured over 3 million people. We perjured over 3 million people, and people will get the virus. Oh, we predict. Is that what you're saying? We predict over 3 million people will get the virus, and over 200,000 will die. I hope that's wrong. I hope that's wrong. But I remember hearing Dr. Fauci say some kind of ridiculous number like that. If 3 million people, you mean around the world? You mean around the world? I could see that around the world. Yeah, I could see that number happening. That's gonna be ugly, man. That's gonna be. Some countries are really gonna get it, man. Like it's Italy's getting it, but I think a lot of countries are gonna follow suit on that one, and they're gonna get it as bad or worse than that. And I mean, I hate to be the person to say this. I don't want to be negative or anything, but this right here is really bad, man. And nobody's prepared. Philippines Paradise Chronicle says the government in China was flying around drones busting people without masks. Yeah, the China government, like, towards the end, really start cracking down. And that might be part of the reason why their numbers are high, unless they're just lying. All the hotspots in the U.S. are the hubs of major air carriers worldwide. Wow. Didn't think of that. Didn't think of that one, man. Philippines Paradise Chronicles, of course. Yeah, that's right, huh? Makes sense. Let's look at U.S. here. Look at U.S. The biggest ones are the major points of entry. Think about it. Is San Francisco and L.A. I haven't heard a lot about San Francisco, but there's 37 deaths in total in California. That's gonna go up for sure. And then New York, JFK Airport, Washington Airport. Now Louisiana's starting to get it really bad. New Jersey, yeah, that's right. Texas should be hit really hard too. Wow. Listen, guys, it's been great talking to you. I'm gonna do this again next week. We'll just talk. We'll just talk about stuff. And if there's any questions that you have, you can always message me or Yuri. Check us out on Facebook or wherever you happen to see us and ask questions, and I'll do some research on it. We'll talk about it openly and stuff. And it's been great talking to you guys again. Really miss everybody. Really miss these talks. Really miss the lives and stuff. Just had a lot of stuff going on, so I couldn't do any videos, but I'm gonna do better about putting content out there. I know I say that a lot, but I'm serious because I do miss talking to everybody. It's really enlightening. I always learn something new. But take care of yourselves. Take this seriously. This is the real deal. I don't want to see anybody else pass away. I know our numbers are going to go higher, but just do what you can. I mean, if not for your own sake, and if not for your own family, like for this whole infrastructure, right? Because we all have a lot to lose here. God willing, we learn from this, because this could be a lot worse. I mean, this one's like killing like 1% or something, but it could be like 30%. If you think about a SARS or an Ebola or something like that, it could be a lot worse. But this right here, I think this is like a dress rehearsal for something way worse. And we really got to do better as a society. And I'm not talking about just Colorado or the United States, but the world. Humanity needs to do better about taking care of each other and be smarter about being about these real threats to our entire species. I hope we can do better. All right, guys. Take care of yourselves. Wash your damn hands.